Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever in the world you are. I am in Luderitz, Namibia. Okay, so today's video is actually a sequel to the video Jacinda Arden, Is She a Modern Woman? I've done this video. I will put the link down below and you can see my opinion regarding her and modern woman. So why I decided to do a sequel about this topic is because, number one, I got a lot of feedback regarding that video compared to all the videos I've put out. That's the one where people really got all riled up. And I love that because that means there's a discussion. People are interested in this particular subject. So I'm continuing with that subject. The other reason is because I've been noticing a trend regarding how we view things in the world these days. So that's why I want to do this. So let me start. Now, not only am I talking about the modern woman, but I am, and in my definition of modern woman is that she's educated and emancipated. Okay, right. This is where I'm coming from. But now I'm going to go further and say that Jacinda Arden is actually a white, woke, Western woman. The 4 W's. That's what she is. Okay, so I have to read and talk. So why do I say that she is all of the above? Well, she's obviously a woman because she's a biological woman. She's XX chromosome person. White, goes without saying. Western, she lives in a Western country. It's a first world country. And woke. So let's address woke. Why do I say she's woke? Because bringing her infant child to a UN meeting is like the epitome of wokeness. Now, why I say that? It is because woke people like to make points. And when they make points, they always have to carry it like a trophy. And that's what she did. She took a child to the UN meeting. No one in the history of mankind has ever done that. She did. Okay? And openly, not like take the child and leave it in the room or no, to the meeting. Okay? Right. So also, her point, I think, because knowing how woke people's minds work, was to show that a woman can have a career, but at the same time also still take care of her child, which is fair. That's a fair thing to do, is to have a career and a child. There's no saying that you can't have that. But that is the point, as far as I'm concerned, that she was trying to make. Okay? The other point I think she was trying to make was that having a child out of wedlock is not a big deal. Okay? Because she took this child, whose father she's not married to this meeting. You know, it's a global meeting. Everyone's going to see this. So maybe that's... Now, note well, I say maybe because I don't know what's in her mind. This is just me saying what I saw and what I think, because, you know, this is my channel, this is my video, so this is what I'm saying. My thinking is she took the child there to show how woke she is, because woke people don't have to be married. You can have a child out of wedlock, right? The third thing is why I also say this is a very woke move is because as a woke person, she puts herself, her needs, her wants, her wishes, her dreams, whatever it is, before anything else. Example, in this case, before the health and safety and well-being even of her own child. because that's a very woke thing to do, is me first, my body, my choice. Everything's about me, 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 me. So when it comes to wokeness, she has nailed it all there. Chuck, 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 chuck. She's got it down. Now, what problems do I have with all the above? I did mention it in the last video, but this is the continuation of that, right? So, problem I have with that is that she did not think this through carefully. These actions. Yes, as far as I'm concerned, and about 95% of people I spoke to, is that this was a publicity stunt. And the publicity stunt was about all these things that I just mentioned before. But she obviously didn't think it through. Why do I say that? First of all, as a leader of New Zealand, I don't know if it's a prime minister, I think it's a prime minister, right? Whatever it is. She is speaking and doing this from a position of privilege. You see, she didn't think that through. She can do this because she has that privileged position. Other women cannot do that. They cannot show how modern and emancipated and educated and woke they are by taking their child to work like that, to a meeting of that scale. Okay, this is a UN meeting. It's a global summit. And like I've mentioned to everybody in the comments before, and they all seem to just forget and ignore what I'm saying, is she was the only woman at that meeting who was allowed to do this. Was she the only woman at the meeting who has a small child like that? I can guarantee you, no. Because at that kind of meeting, there are chefs and cooks and ushers and cleaners and tea ladies and all kind of women working there. There's PAs and aides and all kind of people there. Because big delegations going there, right? Where are their children? They were not allowed to bring their children there because you know why? They are not privileged as she is. They are not privileged. So you see, she didn't think that through. Because by her doing that, all that she's causing is resentment and inadequacy to other women who don't have that privileged position. Think about that for a second. Right, next thing. Also, all the comments that people made about, oh, but in New Zealand, we have this, we have that, we have that, we have that. I checked with New Zealanders. Oh, I have a lot of friends in New Zealand. None of them are allowed to take their children to work. None. It's not allowed, especially if I have friends who are CEOs and stuff in companies. People in head of HR and such things, they are not allowed to take their children to work. So, what is this? Why is she allowed to do it? How can you defend her by saying because this is the New Zealand law when my friends cannot even do it? Again, she didn't think it through because not only was she talking from a privileged position as the leader of the country, she's also talking from a privileged position as a white woman. Because all my friends that I spoke to are not white. They are all non-white women. So let that also sink into your head for a little while before you whack your big mouth to me. Okay, think it through. Right. Another thing is, everyone who commented about, oh, and New Zealand is so wonderful, and New Zealand is a utopia, and blah, 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 and women in rights in New Zealand. New Zealand is a very small country with very small population and a very strong economy. So you cannot compare to other women in other countries. Okay. Please remember that because this relates to the next thing. I'm going to read it. There's one more. Culture. Another thing is, New Zealand has a different culture from other countries and other women who saw her at this summit, okay? Remember, it was not only people with white eyes who were looking at her, or from that kind of country, with that kind of economy. It was women from all over the world, because this meeting is a global summit. So it is not only restricted to the white Western world. Note well. That is why I say she did not think it through. And if she was such a modern woman, which means educated and emancipated, and on top of it, the leader of a Western country, she should have thought about this. Because the points she was trying to make fell through, because the only point she was making was that I'm so privileged because as a leader of the free world, I'm the only woman in this whole summit who can come here and bring my baby and prance it around. Because, hello, there are other races and other cultures living in the world. And these other races and other cultures also have the right to their opinion about things. Not just you woke white women. Please get that into your heads. You have to stop going around and telling us how we should live our lives and what we should think is acceptable or not. I am now starting this movement where this crap has to end. White, woke Western women must stop dictating to us what we should accept as acceptable. Because we are from different cultures. Like example, I'm from a culture where a modern woman is an educated and emancipated person. So I come from that perspective. Educated meaning high school, university at least. Which means you have a career. You are established in your career. You are in a good space. Emancipated, you are free from all the societal backward constraints that were put on women before. That is what modern means to me. Now, of course, maybe to you in your Western white world, it's something different. But remember, you are not living in this world alone. I live here too. So you should shh and listen sometimes when I talk. So that is what it means to us. Because in my society, if you are this modern woman, based on the things I said before, that would then mean you have a good job, you are in a good space, you do not have loskinders. Loskinders means you don't have children out of wedlock. Because in our societies, that shows that you as a woman, you are not in the right space. A modern woman gets married because she knows her value, she knows her worth. If you want me, you'll put a ring on it. And a woman who is the most modern woman around these days who has said that is Beyonce, who is also a non-white woman. So put that in your pipe and smoke it. You see where I'm coming from? A totally different perspective. Because like I mentioned before, the world is not just made for white women. Sorry. It's time that us non-white women speak up on what we want and what is right for our society, and our opinions matter. Okay? So for us, modern is good space. The other thing is this: we value being a wife and being a mother. We value that. That means something to us. If you're in a good space, if you're a modern educated woman, like my definition of it, that means you will be married. Of course, things happen, you get divorced, blah, 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 blah. But still, even if you're divorced or not married, we value marriage. We value being wives. And we are proud of being wives. And we're proud of being good wives, about having a nice home. And we are also proud of being good mothers. And us non-white women, when we are in the right space, We would never put our own needs before that of our child. Never. Taking a 3-month-old baby, or younger than, normally it's younger than 4 months. We do not take our children out in public in the first 4 months of his or her life without putting all the harlemenses here under the nose. You know why we put the harlemenses here? Or we have this talisman that we clip inside their clothes, because inside there's some kind of herb that wards off the evil. And harlemenses we put under the nose because we don't want our child to breathe in all the germs. We are so careful with our babies. So of course for us, when we see a baby exposed in a place like that, where you have people from all over the world with all kinds of diseases and germs, it's shocking. What mother would do that to her child? The only mother we would think of that will do that is someone that's not in the right space. She needs help. Of course, she's got no one to care for her child. Maybe that's why she has to do it. She's not educated enough to know that you don't do that. That's where my perspective comes from. It comes from my culture and from my race, because this is what we believe. We do not take our children out, even if we take them to church. We've got the harlemenses here, and we've got that little saki inside here to ward off all evil. Evil meaning all the germs and all the bad energy, whatever, because we don't want that for our child. Otherwise, we leave the child at home. We do not sacrifice the well-being of our child for our career. So that is the space that I am coming from when I say that Jacinda Arden, is not a modern woman, because I am looking at it from a non-white perspective, and everybody else probably from a white, woke, Western perspective. So that's where the differences come in. Because in my culture, the only women who will go to work with their little babies are women who don't have means. So there'll be our maids, there'll be women who have to walk in the street and sell fruit and vegetables, or sit in the corner because they don't have the means that I have, or that Jacinda Arden has. Because for women who have the means that I have, or the means that Jacinda Arden had, we would never do that, because our society would look down on us. What kind of a mother are you? How can you expose your child to such elements? Because you see, different culture. It's the non-white perspective. So, if I say as a non-white that she is not a modern woman, it's because from where I stand, in my skin and my culture, that is what it means to me. And if you feel what she's doing it's because you are probably a white, woke, Western woman or man. I don't even know why men are commenting here, but anyway, you are a man. The other thing is, for us non-white women and even our men, if I had to be doing what she's doing, someone like me who has the means and who has a husband who has the means, if I was doing that, that would be a bad reflection not only on me as a woman, but on my husband as a father. What kind of a man allows his child to be exposed to such an environment? People would look down on us in our culture, because that's how we roll. And the reason I'm doing this video and doing a sequel to this is because I am sick and tired of white people telling us non-white people that whatever we say or think is wrong, without even considering where we are coming from. And if you go back to my video and you look at how I answer, I always throw that in about the African woman, the black woman, or the non-white woman. But it went over everybody's head. Because white women and white people in general like to tell us what we must think, what we must feel, what we must accept, what we should like. And this is utter rubbish, because you do not own the world. You are not the only people on earth. And so if she, Jacinda Arden, publicly puts herself on display like that, I have the right to criticize and judge her in the same way that you have. And if you think it's fabulous that she can do as she pleases because she's the leader of a country and she's a white woman and these things are not important in your society, that's fine. But in our societies, we also have our own opinions and our perspective on what is right, what we consider to be right, and what we don't. So, to conclude this whole little rant, Jacinda Arden, as far as I am concerned, as a modern, non-white woman who has means. I am not even a leader of a country. I don't even have that privileged position, but I have enough money. And I am in a good relationship. I am married. And I have a career. So I don't have to take my child to work with me, because I have the means for someone to take care of my child while I'm not around. Also, because of my culture, I have family who will do that for me in the event that my helper cannot help me. So that is what it means to be me, to be a modern woman. The day that I have to take my child who is under 4 months of age to my job, it would be a setback for me, because that would mean I am not in the right space. And I'm not in the right space because the well-being of my child is now in jeopardy. And this, non-white people, we must remember our own cultures and not let all these woke people tell us that we are wrong, because we are not. You can ask any doctor, and you know, when we go for our prenatal classes, this is what they teach us. Now that you're going to be a mother, your child's life is very important. So let's stay with that, and don't get bamboozled by all this WWWW crap, because it's just crap. Anyway, note 12, I'm going through my anti-white phase, because we have phases. And I just had it up to here with white people and all their wanting to lead the world, because everything they say is not necessarily right or true. So have a good day and cheers.